What's up? It's Marco back on the Stage Soccer channel, and I guess we have to talk about that game that just happened. And man, USA drew El Salvador 0-0. I mean, hats off to El Salvador, great defensive performance, but that's on the USA team. That's losing these games. I've said before that I don't think that coming into most of these games, like aside from maybe like Mexico or Canada has some good moments, we're not going to lose any of these games to the other teams. We're going to beat ourselves, and yeah, I feel like that rings true for this performance. There's a lot to criticize. There's some bad tactical decisions. I felt like we came with a pretty bad mindset and just unprepared. I mean, I feel like everybody always talks about like how tough these CONCACAF away games could be, but this team looks shell-shocked. I mean, I know that is bound to happen with your first experience in these type of competitions, but as a just a federation coaching staff, they should have prepared this team more. And I felt like they were kind of set up for failure, like benching John Brooks, which I don't know if there was an injury, maybe he just wasn't fully fit, but whenever we were getting into like heated moments, Brooks was always in there to break it up, and just not having a leader like that on the pitch really hurt. And honestly, like, I'm not someone who's a big fan of the guy, but we really missed Kellyn Acosta in the early games. Just like his mindset as like a leader and a player, he could have been big. And I don't want to harp on him too much. I don't think he had a bad game on the field. But what was up with Tim Ream today? Come on, you're not in the team because you're a good player. You're in the team because you're a culture guy, and I feel like that's understood at this point. Where was he whenever like anybody needed to talk to the ref? He didn't do anything. He was just passive the entire game. When you're a veteran in a team with young players like this, you have to do more. And Tim Ream was really disappointing from just a leadership perspective. He just wasn't there. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to criticize. I feel like defensively the team wasn't that strong. I don't feel like El Salvador ever really threatened to score, except on set pieces maybe. But I really would have liked to see Tyler Adams more active defensively. He did not look up to his usual standard. I don't know, maybe if it was the heat that was affecting him or whatever, but he just wasn't looking the greatest, and they were giving up several chances. I mean, a lot of easy balls in the box, and Sergiño Dest especially was getting kind of burnt out on that left-hand side. Man, I feel like every time we switch him over, like he does well attacking on one side, he does well defensively on the other, and honestly, at this point, you might have to just switch to a 5 at the back because he's too good offensively to drop. He's such a good player, but defensively, just not really there. I mean, I feel like that helps Matt Turner as well, having that, somebody like a James Sands maybe in there, just take some of the footwork pressure off of him. And man, the MLS guys were not good with their feet. Miles Robinson had one good moment towards the end, but he was giving the ball away far too much. Matt Turner's not good with the ball at his feet, and yeah, it was just not a good performance from them there. Going to the midfield, it was too even for the quality gap between these players. I mean, that was a Champions League midfield with Juventus, RB Salzburg, RB Leipzig. That's all Champions League players. And maybe I would have put Reyna in the midfield instead of Aaronson, but overall, like, that's too good to just be dominating like that. I really think that comes down to tactical decisions. Because Tyler Adams, we know how good he is. We know how good Weston McKennie is. Brenden Aaronson's doing well. But just how they were playing, like trying too many long balls and kicking it forward so much. Like, why are we kicking it forward so much? And Josh Sargent is not some beast in the air. We're losing possession on every one of those. And yeah, the midfield couldn't really get anything going. I feel like McKennie and Adams did progress well at the end of the first half, but yeah, it was not a good performance. And man, I don't know why this team doesn't press anymore. Like, just going back to Gregg Berhalter's decision, when Pefok came in, he really changed the game with his pressing ability. And I don't even know if he was told to do that or not, but him attacking that El Salvador team, it was forcing them into mistakes that you knew that they would be making, and we just didn't even try to do that. And I feel like pressing is one of Josh Sargent's better qualities, and we just didn't have him do that at all. The attack, I feel like it was pretty poor today. I feel like we were trying to have individuals do too much. And again, I feel like that was a tactical decision. We heard on the commentary how Berhalter wanted the players to play free, but it may be a bit too much freedom. You had Reyna trying to dribble through everybody. It almost worked once at the end, but he was doing too much. Conrad was trying too much. Aaronson trying too much. Just overall, it was they were poorly managed. That's all you can say. The attack didn't know what they were doing, and yeah, it showed. They couldn't get a goal. I feel like the lack of creativity really came from Berhalter himself. I just can't imagine this team being, with how much talent they have, not doing anything at all with that. And it was really disappointing. And man, I feel like it says a lot about him that, like, right back is our deepest position, I think, at the moment. Maybe wing, but we have Sergiño, Dest, Reggie Cannon, Shaq Moore, DeAndre Yedlin, Brian Reynolds, Joe Scaly coming up. And with all of those, we end up with Kellyn Acosta at right back at the end of the game. Like, you can't tell me he game planned this situation and decided, like, in the selection process, I want Kellyn Acosta to be playing right back at the end of the El Salvador game. The fact that that was even considered and that was practiced, like, what is going on with that? Why was that, like, allowed? Makes no sense. Yeah, I think other than that, one thing I want to talk about, I feel like the body language wasn't great by all the players. You can see, like, after they're making mistakes, you had, like, the type thing. If you play, you know what I'm talking about. And, man, I feel like we're talking about how good the culture is, and with everything like that, I feel like we didn't come into the game prepared mentally, I feel like is what I'm trying to say. And that's, when Berhalter's there, he's not great tactically. I don't think he makes good substitutions. He's in there as a culture-setting guy, and when the culture's not there, it's bad. He's not doing his job. And yeah, that's all the negatives I want to talk about. There were some positives. Despite him not having a great game, I feel like Brenden Aaronson was pretty dangerous when he got on the ball. He was making some chances happen. Conrad de la Fuente as well. He was looking really dangerous when he was able to attack. This team did really miss Christian Pulisic, but I don't feel like that's a good criticism. Like, El Salvador were missing players too, and we should have won with who we had on the field. I feel like with his hands, forgetting the feet, Matt Turner was basically flawless today. There was one time when he came out and claimed a ball that Zach Steffen had really screwed up in the Nations League, and man, that's just him being able to play week in, week out. That's crucial for him. Like, a goalkeeper just sitting on the sidelines all the time isn't going to make that play. So that was great. Jordan Pefok, as I mentioned, he changed the game, coming in and pressing really well. I thought we were able to get some chances out of that. Unfortunately, no goals came from that. And in the second half, I mentioned it was too individualistic, I guess. Reyna did come alive, and he was making a lot of chances happen. Which, I mean, you like to see a player do that, but it was not the greatest thing. And like, the positives you can take away from this game are vastly outweighed by the negatives. It wasn't a good performance at all. I feel like the manager hurt the team. I feel like the leadership wasn't there from the veterans, Tim Ream especially. And overall, just a poor performance from the team. And yeah, that's all I really have to talk about from the game. Poor performance, and we really need to see stuff change for the Canada game, because Canada actually has a dangerous attack, and they will punish us. Though, it should be said, they had a pretty bad game today, too. But, yeah, that's all I've talked about for the game. Man, I finally paid for Paramount Plus, and that was just disappointing. Like, I like their version of the TNT crew. Kate Abdo is a very good host. I was following her on Ultimate Beastmaster. She stood out there. Clint Dempsey's awesome. A lot better than the Fox broadcast with Alexi Lawless, but the broadcast itself wasn't great. Camera work was pretty poor. They're cutting away at the wrong times, and that announcer Dre sucks. He was like misnaming players constantly, and yeah, I think it's just me being frustrated. I don't know. It's a disappointing game. Really hope to see things turn around, and yeah, that's all I'll talk about. See ya.